I got up this morning and I hopped in the car and I did a little tracking. Tracked down a UPS man and I got my Gillo riser, Shibayu plunger, if I'm saying that correctly. Found if you say it a little fast, I think I'm saying it correctly. Shibayu, say it fast. But anyway, let's check it out. I just cut the box open. Comes with Allen keys and the little bracelet thing. I guess I'll have to find somebody to give that to. Wow, fancy with the fancy pockets, huh? I like the idea of this Gillo GT riser. I don't like tall risers. I never did. I like the 15-inch risers that I shoot 3D with, and I wanted to get into barebow, so I got a 19-inch riser, and with the medium limbs, it should be 62 inches. But what I found interesting about these limb pockets is the detents that are on the limbs. You know, when they go in, if you increase the poundage, it puts pressure one way or pressure the other way on the detents when you adjust the poundage. When you adjust the poundage on this whole section pivots. So that detent and limb stays perfectly level and the whole thing adjusts for the weight. And they say you can get a lot more poundage out of it, or less, you know, one way or the other. You got a lot more mobility in the poundage. So this is my first kind of like official barebow riser. You know, a riser is a riser, kind of. This is a little fancier. I always say that I shoot better if the riser fits my hand. And I like it. I think I could really get used to shooting this really accurate. It just feels good. It feels very good in my hand. And it's going to take me a couple days to make this video because it's I got a few things to do. I got to make a string, and I was going through my mind what I wanted to do. I had made for the Olympic kids when I used to, the junior Olympic kids, when I used to teach the JOAD. I made tons of strings, endless loop strings for them, tons of them. And I made Flemish twist strings for my bows. And I always liked the fact that they were softer on the limbs, the loops. I like the fact that they're a little quieter. You know, I always shot what I call, see people argue with me all the time, traditional barebow, okay? And what I say, a traditional barebow is shooting off the shelf, okay? No sights, no nothing, all right? And I say modern barebow is like a stripped down Olympic bow. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. That's my opinion. It will fit through a 12.2 centimeter ring, my bows, so technically it qualifies for a barebow, so I'm going to end that argument right here. So I decided this looks so nice, this gray and black, that I'm going to make a nice gray and black Flemish string. And I also looked on the rules for like silences too, just in case, you know, you never know, I might get a bug and want to go somewhere and shoot some kind of competition if I do well. And you could add silences on the string. They got to be 12 inches away from the knock. That's the rule. So I'm going to make a gray and black tapered Flemish twist string with matching micro puff silences. I'm going to do that, and this video is going to take a couple of parts for me to piece it together. Okay, so hopefully in the next one I'll have the string, we'll put on the limbs, we'll start adjusting, and we're going to see how it shoots. But I'm very happy so far. I mean, look at the balance in this thing. Look, the balance is upright. I love it already. You know, there's minute things that, as far as the grip goes and the feel, you know, right here in the pad I'm putting it, look, close my hands. It feels great. It's balanced. So far, I really love this thing. Okay, so you say a riser is a riser until you get into a specialty one. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna splice in the next ones. You'll see me hooking this up. All right, I'm very happy so far. Okay, I made my string, black and gray, BCY X99. Okay, tapered Flemish twist string. I made the bundles of puff silencers. And what I gotta do first is I just made the string, there's no serving. I'm gonna try plugging the limbs in this riser and see how they feel. Okay. Wow, nice. They're plugging really nice. Snug, solid. Really nice. Okay, and what I'm going to do is string it. I'm going to serve it, set a brace height, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, I put the serving on, and before I put the silencers on, I just want to show you something. Like I mentioned before, this whole pocket system goes up and down. If you look on the bottom, you see there's the screw. You don't want the screw to protrude through the bottom. And the other thing is, when you back it off, you see that brass fitting there? The screw will go through there. As you're backing it off, you'll see daylight, and then you know you've gone too far. You want to just see the stainless steel screw in there. You don't want daylight, okay? So that's kind of parameters for adjusting the screw. Okay, tighten it, but do not go through the bottom. Loosen it, but if you start seeing daylight, you just want to see stainless steel screw. You don't want to see daylight. Okay, I set the tillers to even tillers. And in the package, you get Allen keys, and you get these two little set screws. And the set screws, let me find the right key here now. The set screw goes into the sight window here to securely lock your limb bolts. Okay, once you have them adjusted the way you want. And they're all brass, so just give it a good with your 2 fingers. Okay, put the other one in. Okay, next what we're going to do is put the beater blocks on and make sure that the limbs are in line with the string. Okay, do that now. Okay, I wanted to show you how you align the string up with these blocks to make sure the limbs are aligned. Okay, you look at the top, you look at the bottom. It's kind of hard to do, but I just figured I'd show you. I put them on and I checked them and everything's aligned. Okay, also check the adjustments to make sure that they were snug too. You don't want them loose. And if you have to make any changes to the limbs, let's say the limb was tilted left or right, what you would do is unstring the bow. You'd have to loosen the nut on that dovetail, make the adjustments, snug it up, redo it and recheck it again, okay? You have to unstring it and loosen that dovetail before you make adjustments. Otherwise, these side screws you'll strip out. Okay, just so you know. And a lot of guys have those wood risers. You have to be careful with the wood risers when you snug them up. Just snug them up enough so you don't pop the wood out, you don't crack the wood. You gotta be careful. You can't be, be an animal. You gotta be nice and, just snug them up, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna put the plunger and the rest on, and I'll get back to you. Okay, just so you can see, you see the centered holes in this riser? See the lines in this bottom one here? I align the string up with those holes, top and bottom, and I put the arrow, I just knocked it on a stream. I didn't have a knock point at the time, but once I align it, I adjust it. So when I look down the arrow, okay, and the string is in the line, this arrow is just slightly shadowing. I'm right-handed, shadowing to the left, okay? And if I was to set this up and I was a lefty with a left-handed riser, it would be shadowing to the right, just a shadow, all right? You looking down the arrow and you just see the tip a little bit past the string. It's not center shot, okay? That's a good starting point. And we're gonna take a couple of shots. I'm not sure, I'm gonna weigh it, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna go with the 700 spine or 600 spine. But we're gonna give a couple of shots and see what happens. And then the rest of the video, I have a lesson in a little while, but we're gonna just take a couple of shots, do a little quick tuning in the house, and then tomorrow we're gonna do some shooting outside. Okay, it's all set up even tiller. I have the rest, the plunger, everything set up. Check the alignment of the limbs, they're fine. Check the arrow from the knock in between the plunger, set the way I wanted. Now I'm going to check the pounds to see how many pounds it is at my draw length. Roughly 30 pounds. It's 30 pounds at my draw length. Do it one more time just to check. £30 at my draw length, okay? So I'm gonna shoot first the little shorter. I've shortened this a little bit. It's a 700 spine arrow. It's a gold tip and trotter. I'm gonna see how this flies. Okay, let's see. It looks like it's a little, tail's a little weak possibly. Now, you know what? That actually looks pretty good from the angle I shot. I'm gonna do it again. And we're gonna do it with a flex shaft and the bare shaft, just to check it out. Okay, I really like the feel of this bow in my hand. I like the way it shoots. We're gonna shoot a bare and a flex shaft just to see how they land. This is just rough tuning. I'm playing because I've been dying to shoot it. I'm gonna shoot it a couple times, then I got a lesson coming over in a little while, and tomorrow we're gonna take it out and do some shooting and tuning, you know, fine tuning. I'm just playing today. So let me take a couple of more shots and see what happens. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, the flex shaft and the bare shaft are touching, okay? So they're stacked on top of each other. So for now, it's good enough for me to go outside and do some further tuning tomorrow and shooting. But like I said, I really love the feel of the riser. It shoots good. I think I'm gonna do well with it. I have no regrets. I'd recommend it to anybody. I like the technology of the limb pockets. And you know, you can get other, from what I understand, you can get other grips if you wanted to for that riser. But I think the most important thing is that I learned over the years that you have to be comfortable with how a bow fits your hand. I have smaller hands, small, medium, you know, hands, and I like the way the grip feels. Okay, so that's why I think really that's why we go through so many bows. You know, we buy a bow, we shoot it a while, we sell it. We're always looking for the next best thing. But this fits me. I like it. I'm gonna have it for a long time, and a little more shooting and tuning tomorrow outside. Okay, good afternoon. The sun's kind of bright, so it may look like I'm squinting a little because I am. Okay, I'm out here with this beautiful riser I got, and we're gonna do a little shooting and tuning just to see how it is, okay? It's gonna be the first shot of the day. I just want to be clear on something. When guys look at a fancy riser like this, I mean, it looks so fancy, it's beautiful. It's got the plunger and the rest. The difference between, I used to love shooting off the shelf, and this has a radius shelf. You know, I could set this up, I could set this up to shoot off the shelf too, and I'd probably do pretty good with it. The only difference between this and another riser that you're shooting off the shelf, let's say, is the way it looks. It's more tunability. You could really fine tune an arrow with a rest and a plunger, okay? Would I use this for hunting? I says, no, this is my, you know, bare bow 3D riser. And a lot of times when you have an arrow and you draw the arrow across the rest and the plunger, you hear a little squeaky noise sometimes on the arrows. It's just part of the beast, you know? So I love it. You like my string with the puff silencers? I think it looks really nice, right? Okay. So just wanted to explain that, okay? Those of you who have guns, you know, and you know, the debate about certain guns, regular riser that shoots off the shelf, and this one, you know, you could say this kind of like the assault riser, right? Just because it looks different. It looks a little, it looks fancy, it looks awesome, and it is awesome. It's awesome to tune. It's awesome with that limb technology, okay? But take a couple shots and then we're gonna see how it shoots. You know, actually shoot at, you know, a couple different ranges. Okay, it's hot, it's 95 degrees today. We're gonna just take a look at this. We're gonna take a look at it, and we're gonna do some shooting. It's just too hot for me to fine tune it, but we're gonna take a look and see what we got here. Yeah, let's get a little closer so you can really see. Okay. The bare shaft is straight, and the flush shaft is right on top of it. Okay. And I'm not going to worry about the knock height because it's really hot. All right, I'm tired, and it's tuned pretty good. So now we're going to take some shots. And we're going to shoot here. We're going to shoot 10, 15, and 20. And then we're going to see what happens. Okay? Sometimes, just so you know, regardless of how the video turns out, if you're shooting right here and you're doing everything good with your form, and the further back you go, the arrow starts shooting to the left, your arrows are a little stiff. And sometimes you just add a 5-grain washer and it'll bring it over, okay? If you're shooting here and as you go back and you're doing everything right, not plugged in, and they start shooting right, sometimes your arrow's a little weak. A little lighter point. You know, shoot it a couple times to make sure it's not you before you start cutting and stiffening up the shaft, all right? So let's do a little shooting. We're going to start at 10 yards and see what happens. Okay, we're going to try now. We're going to try 1.5 and see if that raises it enough. So here we go. There's 1/8 and 1/4 inch marks, okay? So 2 lines is 1/4. So we're going to go 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, which is 1 1/4 inches. Let's try 1 1/4 inches. Okay, 1 1/4 inches is it for the height, okay? So I'm gonna shut this off, get those arrows, and we're gonna go back to 15. But we got a rough setting, it's really hot today. 1 1/4 for 10 yards. Okay, we're gonna go to 15, we're gonna shoot 1 1/4 again. But I have to show you something interesting. Friend Mike Pizzini came over with his wood arrows and he lost his tip in my target. Guess what my arrow found? Huh? Isn't that amazing? I pulled it out with the tip. Let's see. Okay, I have to throw this away, push in the tip, and use a new point. But that's something, huh? I'm actually glad I got it out of the target. I told them years ago that I used to drill a hole and pin it with like a brass tack and hammer it so it can't come out. But isn't that interesting? That's some hell of a thing to happen, right? Okay, here we go. We're gonna shoot 1 1/4 again at 15 yards, just to see. Okay, let's try 1 1/4. And again, if you're tired or it's hot, you should breathe. Once you hook the string, okay? Okay, I got 1 1/4, got 1 1/4 here again, sliding it down. And now that I got the hook and some pressure, breathe in, shoulders up, breathe out, shoulders down. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. Let me show you. So we got 10 and 15, which is pretty cool for 1 1/4, okay? From 10 to 15, I use that 1 1/4 measurement, okay? Let's just take a look. Okay, got it right in the X. So what we're gonna do is go back to 20 now and see how 20 is. Okay, now I'm at 20. And these arrows usually on my other setup was like 3/4 of an inch on 20. So at 3/4 of an inch, if it hits high on a 10, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna put the point in the middle and see where it goes, all right? We may have to shoot it again, but I figured I'd show you. Anything in a 10 is acceptable. You put the point in the middle. If it shoots high, it's still a 10. When you get to the end of the range, if it shoots low and it's still in a 10 ring, it's still a 10. Just keep the point on the middle of the 10 ring. So here we go. We're going to try that 3/4 measurement. Okay, let's go check this out at 20. You could tell it's tuned really good because the arrows aren't really tracking left or right. Now I just got to go shoot at 20, get my mark for 25 rather, and we're good. But let's go take a look. It's a hot day. I'm looking forward to shooting this when it's not so hot. Okay, we got some skill and we got some luck. We got another X at 20. Now we're going to go to 25. Okay, let's go check it out. And like I said, that's really the difference between shooting, let's say, off the shelf, I took a lot of pride when I shot off the shelf in tuning my arrows and changing where the impact is. When I had the pad on, with maybe putting a toothpick behind it or different things to move the impact right or left, and using the weight of the bow on the ILF to adjust the poundage too for the tune. If I had one of my older bows, let's say a Bear Grizzly, and I shot that Bear Grizzly, I would rely on the bear shaft tuning, right? That's really all you can rely on, and then move your impact by, if it was to the left, you remove that bear pad and put Velcro on it, moves it over. Or if it shoots to the right, you build it up to hit where you're looking. So this here is really beautiful, fits, balanced, pretty nice. Okay, it makes a world of difference for tuning. But no matter what kind of bow you shoot, if you don't have good form and you don't pluck or drop your arm, you know, it's the same deal. You got to be good no matter what equipment you have. All right, let's go shoot 25, and then I'm done in this heat. Love this riser. Okay, here we are at 25 yards, and this is going to be the last mark I'm going to get, and because it's just too hot to be out here playing around. And I'm going to try 1/4 of an inch, and we'll see what happens. Okay, it's in there. I'll show you. Let's show you. It's maybe not perfect release, but like I said, it's really hot, and that's 1/4 of an inch. I'll come out here when it's cooler and fine tune. I believe this should be 1/4 inch, should be on top of the 10 ring. Okay. Oh, okay, it's a little higher, so I guess I'll shoot this one again. Okay, what I'm going to try now is that 25-yard mark, and instead of 1/4, because it was higher than I want, and I said they're 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch increments, I'm going to go 1/4 in a line, 3/8. I'm going to go 3/8. I'm going to go a little lower in the back to lower where the impact point is. Let's see if it works. Try to be a shooting machine. Keep your bow hand up on target, your hand against your face. I won't go over shooting form. Look at my other videos. I have it in almost every video, shooting form and back tension. I shoot static because of this damage my back. Really hot. This is it for today. Let's go take a look. Just to show you the difference, an 1/8 inch makes at 25 yards. Okay, perfect height. That 3/8 works, and it went to the left a little. It's really hot. Could be me. If you keep your hand tighter on your face, it moves her over. I might have had my hand a little looser on my face than I should. Okay. But that concludes the video on this riser. I really love it. Okay. I like the feel of it. The looks are really awesome too, right? The string I made for it with the puff silencers, okay? Okay. Everything about it. Spigarelli rest I got. See, check out the rest. It's a magnetic rest. Okay. Shibayu, gotta say it fast, Shibayu plunger. Okay, seemed to work out fine. Okay, and that's it. I want you to have fun. Never take the fun out of shooting arrows. Okay, get out and shoot. Watch my other videos on Barebow Joe. Watch bare shaft and fletch shaft tuning. Okay, I prefer that over single shaft tuning. But you could, if you're one of those guys that just like to single shaft tune, watch my video on single shaft tuning, single bare shaft tuning, all right? Have a good day. Every morning you wake up is a great day. Enjoy life, get out and shoot.